Well, there could be some new hope in Syria's bloody 6-year civil war that has created such overwhelming carnage and chaos. This after a ceasefire has gone into effect in that country's southwest. And as of this hour, it is reportedly holding. The United States and Russia brokered that agreement on Friday, along with Jordan, capping President Trump's first meeting with President Vladimir Putin in Hamburg, Germany at the G20. But you know, several previous ceasefires have collapsed. And this morning, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said he doesn't think very much of this deal.
No, Putin does not have it right when it comes to Syria, and this ceasefire is going to help Assad. There'll never be an end to this war as long as Assad's in power, so we're empowering the Russians in Syria. This is the Secretary Tillerson needs to staff up the State Department and use it wisely.
Is it a gift for Assad? Well, Mike Baker joins us, former CIA covert operations officer, now president of Diligence LLC, a global intelligence and security firm. Mike, good to see you. I just want to first report a tweet that the president sent just about half an hour ago. He tweeted this, saying, quote, Syrian ceasefire seems to be holding. Many lives can be saved. Came out of meeting good. Do you think his confidence will be rewarded that the ceasefire, at least in that small area, will finally hold?
Well, I mean, I think the president's right. Many lives could be saved. I think that Lindsey Graham is right in that, you know, Assad is a problem. Look, this thing is operating on many different levels. The end result, if all you do is try to be realistic, then any attempt at a de-escalation, any attempt at a truce, at a ceasefire, is a good thing from an aid perspective, getting aid in there, humanitarian perspective, decreasing the killing, as you pointed out, the carnage. I mean, possibly in the neighborhood of 500,000 people killed so far in this civil war, millions upended and forced to live as refugees. So anything we can do to help de-escalate is a good thing. What we have to also understand, though, is that Russia's agreeing to broker this. They're being part of this because right now it's in their best interest. They had some success in terms of shoring up Assad's strength and his position with his own forces towards the end of 2016 and early 2017. And so now they're trying to consolidate that. If they were in a weakened position, if Assad was losing his grip day by day, the Russians wouldn't be brokering this. And, you know, at the end of the day, as long as we're pragmatic about this, that's fine. If we hold out, if we basically say we're not going to do anything until we can figure out how to get Assad out of there, frankly, that's not going to happen in the near or mid-term. The Russians won't allow it to happen. The Iranians aren't going to allow it to happen. And we have less leverage there. We have less ability on the ground there to change the facts than the Iranians and the Russians. Yeah,
basically, you're saying that that Moscow is getting rewarded. And, of course, the end result of that will be Assad.
Well, look, our interests, what are our interests? The U.S., we are trying to defeat ISIS, and we're trying to end this humanitarian crisis. Those are our objectives. So in the short sense, in the narrow sense, a de-escalation or a truce, of course it's a good thing because it helps to alleviate the suffering, and we can continue, because ISIS isn't part of this de-escalation process, we continue to hammer them
and ISIS,
and
you're
eventually
right.
get rid of them.
ISIS hasn't, I mean, the terrorist groups haven't, you know, sign this deal at all, and that's not part of Moscow's or Assad's interest.
No, that's where we have to be, again, pragmatic. We have to understand that our interests in Syria aren't the same as Russia's interests. We care, again, about defeating ISIS and about humanitarian relief. Russia doesn't care about those things. They care about maintaining Assad and maintaining their influence. The Iranians, who now basically have the most leverage in Syria, they're not going to back out.
No,
so
in fact, they're even growing. Let me show you some pictures.
Yes.
I got some vacation pictures here to show you. I took these pictures with my iPhone. That's Syria. I'm on the Golan Heights a couple of weeks ago. It's that close. The fighting has spilled over from that Syrian city into Israel, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that Israel defend itself, because you know what they're worried about? The Iranian Shiite crescent, establishing that crescent right on through to the Mediterranean, and that is the fear. So finally, Mike, is it possible to stop the Iranians, or is it too late?
Well, I think it's too late. I think we've allowed over the past several years for the Iranians to gain such a foothold, such leverage, not really only in Syria, but throughout the Middle East. that they're not going to back out. There is nothing in their interest to do that. So as long as they view this de-escalation process or this truce as not damaging their interests, they probably won't scuttle it. But as soon as they see a truce or a de-escalation in somehow strengthening the U.S. influence there or strengthening the rebels' position, then they will derail this thing, and they have the ability to do it. But does it mean that we shouldn't try? No, of course not. Anything that stops, to some degree, the killing, even temporarily, I think we can all agree is a good thing.
And certainly because it's right on that border, as you can see, right with Israel, trying to butt up against Iranian influence, too. Mike Baker, good to see you in Boise, Idaho this afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Summer Sunday.